This is my audience of 5. Would people be able to survive without technology? For instance, when technology fails, individuals become crippled and dumbfounded. They do not know how to communicate when a computer collapses, and they do not know how to provide light when a wire falls. There are 3 specific areas people have become too dependent on technology. They are in the medical field, socially, and in schools. Technology has taken over the medical field, and people in the medical field do not know how to live or work without it. Not only is medical technology in hospitals, but it's also in patients' homes. For example, there are numerous amounts of cancer patients living at home as their disease progresses. According to Jenny Bryan, the author of Medical Technology, these patients depend on anti-cancer drugs and drugs to control their pain to be directly dispensed into their bloodstream by pumps. Without these drugs and pumps, they would ultimately have no chance of survival. Another example of medical technology at home are hemodialysis machines. Bryan also says that these machines do the jobs of kidneys within the bodies of patients living with kidney failure. These patients literally depend on this technology for survival. Also, there are now multiple new apps that allow patients to just FaceTime their physicians on their iPhones to report symptoms, receive diagnosis, and medications without ever leaving the comfort of their home. Although this is very convenient, patients are losing valuable doctor interaction time that could lead to a more thorough diagnosis. In hospitals, doctors depend on technology for diagnostic purposes and to perform their jobs. One of the machines they use is the MRI machine. According to the book Medical Technology, the MRI machine diagnoses several issues such as birth defects, heart disease, cancer, and multiple sclerosis in a patient. Without this machine, doctors couldn't feasibly diagnose or treat these issues. Not only do we depend on technology medically, we also depend on it for our means of socialization. In order to socialize, one has to communicate. And according to Deborah Fallows in the Internet and Daily Life, 79% of online users who usually communicated with friends and family use the Internet to communicate with them. 79% is a substantial amount, and whether those people use email, social networking sites, or instant messaging to communicate, they all depend on technology as their way of communicating with someone. Without the Internet, those people may not have been able to share important news with someone they needed to talk to. Additionally, humans need to interact with each other in order to get the full benefits of socialization. Technology has caused people to become more isolated and has caused them to not physically interact with others because there is no need to and they can just pick up the phone and call them instead of actually going to see them. Without technology, people wouldn't even know how to communicate due to their dependency on it. Another way people are depending on technology socially is with online dating. Deborah Fallows also states that 25% of Americans who were dating or interested in dating did so online. This goes to show that most people aren't even independent enough to find a partner without the use of technology. As if the dependency on technology in the medical field and socially wasn't enough, schools are now depending on it too. Take our class for example. We wouldn't even be getting educated right now if our school didn't depend on technology. Teachers are now depending on computers to teach their students and for them to do their assignments on. But not only are the teachers using this technology, but the students are too. With a computer on hand, students may seem well educated and full of facts, but when a computer isn't around, they are helpless and dumbfounded. I am guilty of this myself, as I'm sure everyone in here is. In conclusion, people have become too dependent on technology in every aspect of their lives, and are especially dependent on it in the medical field, socially, and in schools. Without technology in the medical field, doctors wouldn't be able to perform their jobs or save lives. Without depending on technology socially, people wouldn't be able to communicate or even date without it. Lastly, if schools didn't depend on technology, then students probably wouldn't receive a quality education and teachers couldn't teach their students. I'm not saying technology is a bad thing. I'm just saying we became too dependent on it. So my challenge for you today is to do one less thing that doesn't require you to depend on technology. Whether it's actually going to your friend's house instead of calling them, or going to the library to do research instead of doing online, please just take that one small step that doesn't require you to depend on technology. Thank you.